Hello children, hope everyone is fine. Today in this revision class, that is now in the biology class, we are going to revise. Already we have completed the first chapter. Hope everyone saw the videos, recorded videos, and also you attended the online class. And we have given the classwork and worksheets also was given to you. Today I am going to revise the first chapter, that is nutrition in plants. What is nutrition? Nutrition means nothing but mode of taking food. Nutrition means nothing but mode of taking food. That means all living organisms need food to live, to survive. So they have to take food, and that mode of taking food differs from one organism to other organism. That means the animals are classified as herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, and all you know. They depend on plants or other animals, or both plants and animals. So like that, the mode of taking that food, either plants or the other animals, it differs. For example, we human beings, we chew and eat the food. Either it is plant food or animal food. We chew and eat all types of food. In liquid form also we take our food through mouth. And some insects, what they will do? They will suck the nectar from flowers. The mode of taking that liquid food by sucking. For example, butterfly or honeybees or whatever insects, they will suck the nectar from the flowers. Some animals like frog, snake and all, what they will do? They will swallow, catch their prey, and they will swallow the food as it is. They won't chew. So in this way, the mode of taking food differs from one animal to other animals. So about this mode of taking food is called nutrition. And the chapter deals about the nutrition in plants. Not only animals, plants also need food for them to live. But from where do they get their food? They prepare their own food through the process called photosynthesis. Hope everyone know. And this photosynthesis can be represented in equation form. That is, they take in carbon dioxide and absorb water from the soil, and in presence of chlorophyll. This chlorophyll is very important for the plants to prepare their own food. And this chlorophyll is a pigment, that is a green pigment that is present in plants, which help the plants to prepare their own food. So in presence of chlorophyll and sunlight, sunlight is the main source of energy. They absorb the sunlight and they prepare their food in the form of glucose or carbohydrates. Carbohydrates. The food what the plants prepare is called carbohydrates, and simultaneously it will be converted into starch. In plants, it is stored in the form of starch. So you should not think that starch and carbohydrates are different. Carbohydrate is nothing but the C6H12O6. That means they contains carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, and simultaneously it will be converted into starch and stored as food in plants. and they release oxygen gas. So this is the diagrammatic representation of this photosynthesis process. So in 2 marks this may be asked. Give the diagrammatic representation of photosynthesis. And by using this carbohydrates, the plant synthesize the carbohydrates first. I hope you all know the nutrients of the food. What are the nutrients? Carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals. After they synthesize this carbohydrates, which contains the carbon, hydrogen and oxygen molecules, they prepare the other components like proteins, fats and vitamins and all. Fats, vitamins, minerals, everything. From this carbohydrates only they will prepare these molecules, proteins, fats and vitamins. And proteins are mainly nitrogenous compounds. Nitrogenous compounds, that means they contains nitrogen. The main component in the proteins are nitrogen. And this nitrogen, the plants need for their growth. And this nitrogen, the plants can't absorb directly from the air. In the air, nitrogen is a major component and that nitrogen cannot be used or absorbed by the plants directly. So what these plants will do to get this nitrogen for their growth? A type of bacteria called Rhizobium. The bacteria name is Rhizobium. And this Rhizobium bacteria, they live in the roots of the leguminous plants. What is the leguminous plants? The plants which give the pulses. பருப்பு வகைகள்லாம் வளரக்கூடியது. For example, groundnut, black gram, like that. Those plants will grow in a nitrogen deficient soil. The plants need nitrogen for their growth, but where they grow in the soil, nitrogen is absent. Nitrogen will not be present in some type of soil. So in such cases, the Rhizobium bacteria, they will live in the roots of the leguminous plants and they will absorb the nitrogen from the atmosphere. That nitrogen will be in the insoluble form and that cannot be used by the plants. So they will convert that insoluble nitrogen into soluble and fix that nitrogen in the roots of the plant or in the soil. They will fix the atmospheric nitrogen in soluble form in the soil and the roots of the leguminous plants will absorb that nitrogen for their growth. And they can synthesize the proteins. So in this way, the plants are able to prepare their own food. That is, they absorb carbon dioxide, water, then minerals from the soil and also nitrogen to synthesize their own food. So, the plants are able to prepare their own food. So, the plants are able to prepare their own food by the process called photosynthesis, and the photosynthesis can be represented by this equation: carbon dioxide plus water in presence of chlorophyll pigment using the main source called sunlight, and they prepare the food called carbohydrates and stored in the form of starch, and they release oxygen. And chlorophyll is the main pigment present in the plants which help the plants to prepare their own food. Okay. Now, in some plants which are non-green, that means which are not having this chlorophyll pigment, how they will be able to get their food. So, this nutrition is of two types in plants. That means autotrophic and heterotrophic. This nutrition is of two types, autotrophic and heterotrophic. Autotrophic means the plants, those could prepare their own food, is called autotrophic mode of nutrition, and the plants which cannot be able to prepare their own food and depend on others for their food is called heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So, all green plants are the examples for the autotrophic mode of nutrition. And what about this heterotrophic mode of nutrition which depend on others? So, in this mode, it is further classified into 4 types. Do you remember what they are? Parasitic, then insectivorous, next saprophytic, and symbiotic. So, generally the plants are classified into 2 on the basis of nutrition, that is autotrophic and heterotrophic. For autotrophic, all green plants which are able to prepare their own food are called autotrophic. This heterotrophic, which depend on others, it is classified into parasitic, insectivorous, saprophytic and symbiotic. That means for parasitic, what is the example? Cuscuta. Its other name is amarbel. Its other name is amarbel. And this cuscuta is a yellow tubular structure which doesn't have the chlorophyll pigment. It is yellow in color. So it can't prepare their own food. So naturally what they will do, they have to depend on others. That means they depend on other plant, that plant called host. It depends on its host, on which it climbs, that is called host. And they depend on their host for their nourishment. They absorb the nutrients from the host plant. Such mode of nutrition on which the plants depend on the whole, that means fully on others for their nutrition, is called parasitic mode of nutrition. Example, cuscuta, the other name is amarbel. They absorb the whole nutrition from the other plants. Next one, insectivorous plants. That means these plants will catch the insects for their nutrition. Example, pitcher plant and Venus flytrap. Pitcher plant and Venus flytrap. Pitcher plant means what? They have a pitcher. Tamil kuduvain solvanga. In that, the digestive juices will be secreted. The leaf tip is modified into pitcher, which secretes the digestive juices, and they are able to catch the insects. It will not catch. When the insects visit the plant, it will sit on that digestive juice, thinking it as a nectar, and it will be trapped by this pitcher. For what? Why they are trapping that insects? To get nitrogen, because these plants are living in the soil which is nitrogen deficient. That means the soil do not have that mineral nitrogen. So that nitrogen is very important for the growth of the plants. In order to get that nitrogen, the plants trap the insects, digest them and absorb the nitrogen from the insect's body. They absorb the nutrient nitrogen and utilizes for their growth. Uses for its growth. Such mode of nutrition in which the plants absorb the nutrients from the insect's body is called insectivorous mode of nutrition, insectivorous plants. Next mode of nutrition is saprophytic. Saprophytic means what? The mode of nutrition in which the organisms obtain their nutrition in soluble form from the dead and decayed organisms or dead and decayed materials. Such mode of nutrition is called saprophytic mode of nutrition. Example, bread mold or mushroom. Bread mold or mushroom. They will secrete a liquid enzyme called enzyme on the host, and they will digest that material and absorb the nutrients from that host that is called saprophytic mode of nutrition. So the mode of nutrition in which the organisms derive its nutrition in soluble form from the dead and decayed organisms is called saprophytic mode of nutrition. The next one is symbiotic mode of nutrition. Symbiosis means what? Two organisms living together to share their food and shelter. Two organisms will live together. One can prepare their own food, other cannot because it doesn't have chlorophyll. So, the plant which have chlorophyll will prepare its own food, and the plant which do not have chlorophyll will absorb the nutrients from the green plant, and this non-green plant will supply the water and minerals to the green plant. So, in this way they mutually help each other. So, this mode of nutrition in which two organisms live together and share their food and shelter is called symbiotic mode of nutrition, and the example for that is lichen. L-I-C-H-E-N, lichen. Lichen means nothing but one algae and one fungus. They live together. One alga and one fungus, they live together. Alga is nothing but the green plant which have the chlorophyll, and they are able to prepare their own food. Fungus is a non-green plant, it cannot prepare their own food. So this algae and fungus live together and they both mutually help each other. This mode of nutrition is called symbiotic mode of nutrition. The next is how nutrients are replenished. Replenishment of nutrients. That is, replenishment means what? Renewing. Renewal. Regaining. We can say as regaining. For example, for the plant's growth, they need nutrients and they absorb the minerals and the water from the soil. When we repeatedly grow crops in the same soil, the plants will absorb the nutrients again and again, and the nutrients will be lost in the soil. Then how the plants can again they utilize the nutrients for their growth? It will be lost in the soil. So this nutrients, what the plants need, should be replenished. That means regained in the soil by natural method and also by artificial method. So this replenishment of nutrients is of two types. That is, one is by naturally it can be replenished and another one artificially. So this natural method of replenishment of nutrient is nothing but we can add manures, or artificially, that also artificially, we discussed about the nitrogenous plant, bacteria, rhizobium. So that rhizobium naturally it absorbs the nitrogen from the air and it fixes that nitrogen in the soil and helps the plant's growth. It is the natural way of replenishment of the nutrient. So naturally by rhizobium bacteria, the nutrient is replenished in the soil. Artificially by supplying the manures and fertilizers. That means manures is nothing but the organic compounds, carbon compounds that we are adding, cow dung or the waste from home and all. So we are making them to decompose and supplying to the plants. So that is the manure, and fertilizers in the form of chemicals, nitrogen, NPK fertilizers, that is nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. That minerals and all artificially we are supplying for the plants for their growth. So the plants regain, or the soil regain the nutrients and help the plants for their growth. So in this way, that is both the ways, naturally and also artificially, the plants regain their nutrients. Hope you all understand. In leguminous plants, by growing the leguminous plants by means of crop rotation, there is a method called crop rotation. So by following the crop rotation, the nutrients can be replenished naturally. Or by growing the leguminous plants, the nutrients can be replenished, and artificially by supplying manures and fertilizers in proper times. So these are the two ways in which the soil can be replenished with their nutrients. So this is a quick recap of the whole chapter, and you have to learn for the PA1 the lesson thoroughly. Hope you all will have one oral activity. That oral test will be conducted for you. That is for 10 marks. So for that you have to prepare the chapter thoroughly. Line by line you have to read and understand. Then only you can attend that oral activity. In this way, the chapter is revised fully, and for this PA1 you have 1 mark. That 1 mark includes all the fill-ups, true or false, match. It may be a multiple choice question also. So in whatever pattern it is asked, you should be able to answer. In the book exercise, I think you all have that fill-ups and fill-ups, true or false, MCQs are also there. So you should be thorough with that. Apart from that, you have to be thorough with the whole chapter. And the question answers will be given. Short answers for 2 marks and detailed 3 marks will be asked. Another one for your thinking skill, think and answer will also be given. For example, that patterns and all I have given in worksheets. One pattern called think and answer is there. For example, potato and ginger are underground parts that store food. Where is the food prepared in these plants? The food is stored underground. I think you all know that the potato and ginger are underground stem part of the plant. If so, then where that food will be prepared? The food will be prepared in the leaves. The chlorophyll is present in the leaves or the stems which are seen above the soil. But in these ginger and potato and all, the food is stored in the underground. So where the food is prepared? The food is prepared in the leaves through the process called photosynthesis, but it is stored in the underground. Food is stored only in the underground. It is not prepared underground. Understand? So the correct answer will be the food is prepared in the plant in the green leaves by the process which is called photosynthesis. So through photosynthesis the food is prepared in the leaf only, as in case of other plants. But the process by which green plants make the food in the presence of sunlight using carbon dioxide and water in the form of starch, it is prepared in the leaves, but it is stored in the underground. Okay, so that is the answer. Next, except plants, Why can't other living organisms prepare their food using carbon dioxide, water and minerals? So, we, human beings, we can separate the carbon dioxide or oxygen from the air. We also able to get the sunlight. We can add minerals also and water. Then why can't we prepare, which is very essential for photosynthesis? Then why can't we prepare their own food? Why should we depend on plants? That's the question. Why can't we prepare? We can't, because the main pigment, chlorophyll, is not present in human beings or any other animals. So without chlorophyll, we cannot prepare the food. That is the reason the chlorophyll is not present, that we cannot synthesize. Another type of a think and answer. Why the pitcher plant or any other insectivorous plants, they trap the insects? What's the answer? Plants need nitrogen for their growth, for synthesizing proteins. But these type of insectivorous plants will grow in nitrogen deficient soil. That means the soil will not contain nitrogen. But they need nitrogen for their growth. So what they are doing? They are trapping the insect and digesting them and absorb the nutrient from their body for their growth. So the answer is what? Because the plants grow in nitrogen deficient soil. In order to get those nitrogen, they are trapping the insects. So like this, from any part of the lesson, the think and answer pattern may be asked. Next, another pattern, draw and label. Another pattern, definitely in science, the diagram will be asked. So, in this lesson, what are the possible diagrams could be asked? Photosynthesis representation. For example, in the book, can you see this picture in the book, page number 3? This photosynthesis picture is given. No, this also may be asked. Okay, so draw the diagrammatic diagram of showing the photosynthesis process. Draw the diagram showing photosynthesis process means like this. You have to draw and you have to label all the parts, including water, minerals, then carbon dioxide from air, releasing oxygen and absorbing the sunlight. Everything should be mentioned in the diagram. Whatever diagram you draw, you should mark the parts. Next, another one, in the same page, this stomata diagram is also given. I have given in classwork also. So, you should surrounded by the guard cells and you have to write stomata and guard cells. So, that also may be asked. Then another what possible diagram may be asked. This picture plant in page number 5. This picture plant. Can you see here? This picture plant. So, this picture plant also may be asked. Draw an insectivorous plants. So like this you have to draw this picture plant and you have to mark as, see I'll show you that a picture, digestive juice, leaf tip. See, if this is the leaf tip is modified into picture like this. It will have a lid. So the leaf tip, you may mark this as leaf tip. Then picture. Inside this you may shade and you may write digestive juice. Digestive juice. Then lid. So like this you may mark the parts. So whatever diagram you draw, you have to mark the parts neatly with pencil. Whenever you draw, you have to write the heading of the diagram. Okay, so like this, the pattern is given for you. So thoroughly you prepare for this periodic assessment and be prepared for this oral test also. Hope everyone will prepare well. Don't waste time. As you are in home, we are not able to guide you. Just through these online classes only we could guide. You should have your own interest and prepare well. Don't lag in your studies. Thank you, children.